I will, in the meantime, when we adjourn, also get a proposal from Mr. Van der Merwe as to what possibilities are, because it might affect him having to go and consult. However, for the administration of justice, we will have to have him move to another prison. Which prison, my lord, at this stage, the head of prison might be of assistance to indicate. Say, for example, Locop, and Locop is also on strike. We don't know. We'll hear from the head of prison. I'm not
also
sure.
On strike?
I'm not sure, my lord. I'm not sure. We'll hear from the head of prison as to how far he knows it. But this is his proposal to us that, look, I foresee the strike carrying on in view of what developments might happen today. And therefore, I propose that we, as the head of prison, can move him to a prison where will have access to bring him to court.
Right.
Yes, my lord. So,
from your own assessment, could the head of the prison be on strike?
It could be, my lord. It could be. I'm not sure. It could be. But from the discussions that he had with the investigating officer, there are certain developments that's going to happen today, which definitely will prolong the strike, from what I've been told.
Right. But apart from that, is he one who's amenable to assisting in ensuring that number one is brought to court?
Is brought to court today, and also moved to another prison, moving forward until such time that the strike is over.
May I then, in that event, suggest that specific arrangements be made with the head of the prison? He needs to understand that if any transfer is to take place, it should be today, so that we are not stopped for a long time from proceeding with the matter.
But that is what I've been informed, that it is, in fact, his proposal that the transfer be made today, in view of what might happen tomorrow.
Okay, yes. Great stuff. Thank you very much indeed. So we're standing down
until 2 o'clock.
Until 2 o'clock. Could you then also indicate to the head of the prison that we indeed are waiting and we need him in court?
As a court process.
Right. Thank you.
Prior to your journey, may I then request your lordship then again to order that we be permitted to consult with the accused who are currently here in the cells. As I've indicated earlier, the security detail request an order from yourself that we be able to consult with the accused currently incarcerated.
Right. Mr. Glover? Whilst, Mr. Glover? Why? Okay.
May I just
confer?
Yes, it was this.
Yeah, fine, that's okay.
I'm made to understand, my lord, that this is now for choose 1, 2, 3, and 5.
And 5, yes.
My lord, obviously my request pertains to accused 1, 2, 3, and 5, as I only represent them. I believe Mr. Alexander's got a similar request.
Is there something that you need to know?
My lord, insofar as I choose number 4 is concerned, your lordship would recall that on the previous occasion we did indicate to the court that the investigating officer, Mr. Alexander, will go to the correctional services where choose number 4 is held to discuss the issues pertaining to his consultation and his handcuffing and all of that in court. There has been a certain arrangement that have been made there, and it has been agreed that for security reasons, the consultation privately will be done in prison, and in court it will be only for those circumstances where perhaps Mr. Alexander would ask the court to approach or choose and whatever. Otherwise, other than that, the arrangement is insofar that I'm made to understand that was the arrangement. So if now a request is made by him to have another private consultation, then the prison authorities, whom have been given authority to say, don't do it in court, rather do it in the criminal service, then it becomes a problem. Because that is the understanding that I've made to understand that is the discussion that happened on the previous occasion.
Right, Mr. Alexander, is it so that arrangements are in place regarding your consultation with your client?
My Lord, I can place the following on record. The investigating officer was indeed present, and I must first off the bat thank him, Colonel Ganinda, in person for arranging the meeting with the head of the prison. It was a very fruitful discussion, and I thank him for that. What was stated by the head of the prison, he was adverse to me consulting at court with accused number 4. I indicated that this would lead to delays, and that every time I need to consult with him at court about whatever matter, the matter would have to be postponed. It's impractical, and then it gets transported back to Zonnewater. I then have to drive the 1.5 hours to Zonnewater, consult, and then the matter resumes the next day. I indicated, and the investigating officer will confirm this, I expressed my dissatisfaction at the proposal. There was never an agreement, and I would never have agreed that I will not consult. What I did state was, I've heard what the security concerns are. What I did indicate was that I would address the court. I don't see how any legal representative, my Lord, can be precluded, within reason, of course, and subject to the relevant conditions, how any legal practitioner can be precluded from consulting with his or her client at court.
Well, it may not necessarily be the precluding as you are indicating, because this will differ from one matter to the next, is also depending on the facts of the case. It may well be that that becomes a necessity, and if it does, for whatever reason, which may be valid, that may well be so. Hence, I think that very special arrangements, as I am gathering it, will have to be made with regard to that, because there may be special reasons or specific reasons for that, which to me may not be known by now or as I speak. But if it's a matter affecting security, that cannot be left to chance. We've got to be very, very particular and make sure that the right thing is done, but at the same time, a consultation, which is a necessity and a requirement, will not be left out. Hence, I am saying proper arrangements need to be made specifically, so that as and when we proceed without any impediments.
My Lord, I confirm what my Lord has placed on record. My Lord is saying it goes from case to case.
Yeah.
My Lord is aware of the fact that we did request my Lord made an order on the 5th pertaining to the request and the discovery of the further particulars, etc., etc.
Right.
Now, that has been done. That in the interim can be discussed, and I need to discuss that with accused number 4. I need to indicate...
Or maybe before you proceed,
yes,
regarding that aspect. So you always successful, is that correct? You managed to do that. The exchanging of the document.
Yes, I am currently in possession of a document, which I read this morning, pertaining thereto. I need to take instructions in that regard to address my Lord further. The content thereof, I think, would become an issue of dispute in terms of Section 87. My Lord would have to be addressed in that regard. But I would need to take instructions in that regard. Now, my Lord,
Have you discussed that with Mr. Gawa?
I indicated just before my Lord came in, we made our way back to court, and my learned friend was busy discussing with the investigating officer. Aware of the time, just indicated I am going to request that I consult with accused number 4. I did relate, but there's nothing untoward about it. I believe the necessary security arrangements can be made. My Lord, I am an officer of the court. There can surely be no security risk of me consulting, subject to the requisite supervision and subject to the conditions that are in place. I understand that. I'm fully aware of that. But I believe a consultation, which the accused is entitled to, should be a matter of right.
Yeah, well, it is.
There's absolutely no doubt about it. So for us to sit here until 2 o'clock, I'm not allowed to consult. The matter gets postponed to this afternoon tomorrow we come back here. If I understand the head of the prison's argument, I'm not allowed to consult. I then stand up tomorrow morning and say, my Lord, I need to request a postponement. I am not permitted to consult with accused number 4 at court. I need to drive to Zonderwater. It's impractical, my Lord, with the greatest of respect.
Okay, it's all right. Mr. Thomas, regarding these arrangements that you're referring to, what is the position? Can something be done about it during the course of the day, or what is the position?
My Lord, I will have to... there are 3 parties involved.
Yes.
It is the NPA,
Yeah.
the police,
Yeah.
and the correctional services.
Fine.
And the members now are busy doing their job in court, and I will need to discuss with them as to what is the position. Because there was a certain arrangement that was made in that meeting.
Okay.
So if
now that you have heard what Mr. Alexander has just said, don't you think it will be important to have a meeting of the stakeholders to urgently today deal with this aspect so that we are able to proceed with the matter as soon as possible?
Well, I suppose that will be prudent that we do so.
Yeah.
And also try to expedite the presence of accused number one before court.
Yeah. I was just trying to think aloud. Couldn't you, between now and his arrival, try and expedite that? Try and see if such a meeting couldn't be held so that something could be sorted out in the meantime?
I will have the discussions.
And he arrives, then you let me know as to what the position is.
As a court.
So that we can know exactly as to how we are going to go about it.
I'm indebted to the court.
Thank you very much.
As a court basis.
Right? We are standing down until 1400 hours.
As a court basis.
The court adjourns.
I can go. Can you